So welcome to everyone. Welcome to the new episode of Chatting With. It's Marco Mariotti speaking from EAGE-SEG Italian section. It's a great pleasure to introduce today our guest, Miss Laura Bornatici. Laura, she's a geophysicist and she belongs to the SEG Board of Directors. She was elected this year, 2021. And why we are talking about this topic today? The reason is because Laura's experience could inspire next generation of young geoscientists, especially those that are currently attending and studying at Italian universities. Since COVID-19, unfortunately, students have been suffering remote teaching, and so this episode is to, let's say, maintain the grip for those who want to work in future in the both in academy and in the private sector. So before to leave the floor to Laura, a brief introduction of her resume. Laura Bornatici is a physicist at Care Energy, located in Edinburgh, based in Edinburgh. Her areas of expertise include rock physics, seismic data interpretation, electromagnetics, and potential field data processing and interpretation. Laura has a degree in environmental engineering from the Politecnico of Milano and a master's degree in petroleum engineering from Heriot-Watt University. He has been working actually in the oil and gas industry in the energy sector since 2000. And welcome another time to you, Laura, and it's a great pleasure to have you here. The first question for you is, why did you choose a scientific faculty after high school, and can you tell us more about your career in geoscience? Laura, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Marco. Nice to meet you all. So, I always love science, and that's why I chose a career in geoscience. I like it because it's logic and rigorous, but it can also be creative. And it can help society because explaining how and why things happen, it can lead to discovery and invention that can actually improve our livelihood. My first role as a geophysicist has been in the field, acquiring electromagnetic and gravity data, and it has been great fun because I was traveling around the world, working with people from different backgrounds, different cultures, so it was a great experience. After that, I moved into data processing, inversion, and then interpretation. So through my career, I've been lucky enough to be able to see the entire life cycle of the data that we interpret. And that helped me to better understand the strength of our data, but also their pitfalls. I've been with Care Energy since 2011. Here we went through great excitements and also some disappointments with this part of exploration life cycle. It is a high-risk business. But what I can say is that in all these years, I learned a lot, and this is something that I really like about our jobs. You always keep learning. You can't stop learning. You can learn about new technology or a new basin or a new interpretation of an old basin. It's very difficult to get bored.
Okay, thank you, Laura. It's surely true, and especially in these days during the energy transition. So my second question is, after the election 2021 of SEG Board of Directors, you have been just elected as a SEG Board Member. What will be your position, and what do you want to achieve in this period?
So as you mentioned, in August this year, I've been elected as SEG District Representative for District 7, which covers Northern Europe. What I would like to achieve there is to listen to the voices of the district that I represent, hear their ideas, their concerns, what they want, what they like about the SEG, or what they would like to change, what they would like to do differently. but especially what makes them choose every year to reapply for the SEG membership. And then we have a weekly meeting with SEG chair, where I can report their views and champion their ideas.
Okay, so then if you have to talk to young students, okay, and you are at university and you are attending a speech, okay, and someone asks you, but Laura, what do you think is and will be in future the role of geophysics in the energy transition period? What or in this cycle that is happening? I mean, right now. What do you think is the role of geophysics?
That's a very good question. And I think the answer is that geophysics is going to be core to the energy transition. If you think about it, geophysics is the science that study the physics of the Earth. So whenever a better understanding of the subsurface is going to be needed, geophysics will play a critical role, and geophysicists will be needed. If you think about the renewable that we are looking at the moment, geothermal, carbon capture and storage, wind, mining for minerals, all of them rely on a better understanding of the subsurface, being temperature gradient for geothermal, or reservoir deliverability for geothermal and CCS, seal capacity for CCS, you name it. There is a need for geophysics, for a better understanding of the subsurface. However, the economics are very different from the one we are used to the oil and gas. So we will need to be smart about it and to be able to adapt, trying to learning to explore in a more efficient way and more sustainably. And that is for the future. But right now, I think that the oil and gas industry still has a role to play. I'm afraid, but I don't think that as a society we will be able to switch off from fossil fuel tomorrow. We really can't afford it. What we can do is to be responsible producer. For example, Cairn Energy has been the first UK independent to sign for the World Bank zero flaring emission. So we committed to go to zero flaring by 2030. And I totally appreciate that this is not the one solution, but it is a step in the right direction. Similarly, about gas can be the transition fuel that will be critical to get to net zero while we are phasing out of coal, for example. And in the meantime, we can mature the renewable technology. So while the more sustainable technology are matured, we can transition towards a cleaner form of energy. And it's not going to be easy, I think. It's going to be, there will be a challenge there, but we can leverage on the expertise and the skills of the oil and gas industry. If you think about it, there is a lot of overlap in terms of experience, skills, even technologies and infrastructure. If you think we can repurpose some of the oil and gas infrastructure to support the renewable.
Thanks, Laura. So, next question. So, Laura, you were a geoscientist, a technician. You were a manager in your life, and so thank you for to give us a glimpse for the future of geophysics. And but another question that I would like to ask you is. What will be the role of a woman in geoscience in the coming years, and what is your advice for for the students that want to pursue a career in geoscience today?
I think it's great to see that the youngest community now, you have it's well balanced between male and female. If I think when I moved out of university and I started working, most of the time I was the only woman. Makes me feel a bit old, but now I'm working in a company where we have a 50-50 split between men and women. I'm the chief geophysicist of the company, so the opportunities are there for young female geophysicists, and male geophysicists as well. You just need to make the effort, put the hard work in, and grab that opportunities because they are there. Moving forward, I think that both female and male geophysicists will have a critical role to play in reinventing the energy landscape. My advice to each of them will be to find something that they are passionate about. Because it takes time, it takes effort to build your expertise. So you need to find something that excites you and stay curious about it. So, because the energy environment is changing and the world is changing at a fast pace, but there is an increasing need for energy. A few years ago, someone told me that they chose to work in the oil and gas industry because they want to power the world. And if the world is needing more power, our challenge will be to do it to provide it in a sustainable manner. It's not going to be easy. We will need to redesign the energy landscape. But if the mission of powering the world resonates with you, I think you will have a role to play in the energy transition, and geophysics, geoscience will give you the tools to do it.
Perfect, Laura. Thank you very much. Yes, for sure, it's not easy, this kind of process, and it will be longer, I suppose. And yes, but by the way, I would like to hear someone from the EAGE-SEG Italian Section Board. For example, there is here the president, Nicola, or Dario, another guest, Michele. So, guys, do you have a question, a comment for Laura?
Yeah, Marco, I have a comment. I remember the discussion we had something like a month ago about the role of geophysics in the future, the renewable energies, and so on. What I think is that we are living, the period that we are living can be lived like a difficult moment, because the transition always needs a change, and someone can live this change as with some like scared about the future, or can be afforded like an exciting opportunity. And what I think personally is that I fully agree with Laura, and that the future still will need the role of geophysics, because it's the only way to see the underground. So there's no doubt about the fact that the geophysics will play an important role even in the future. Doesn't mean that what we do now will be applied as it is in different situations, in different environments. So it's not the same chasing for minerals or for oil, but the fundamentals, the theory, the principles are the same. So we have a lot of space in front of us for whom of us will be open and capable to adapt the knowledge to a new situation. It's not a matter to reinvent or learn something completely different. It's a matter of adapt what we know in different situations. So not only for future generation of geophysics, but also for people that is working now in the oil and gas business or the other business, we have plenty of space in front of us if we accept to change our to adapt our knowledge because the situations are different, but the theory and the basics, the principles are definitely the same. So this is true also also for us, not only for the people who start studying now geophysics or geology. It's true also for us. And again, and then I'm finished. I agree with Laura that the oil and gas business will stay here for years. So the transition is a transition. It's not like in a snap, in 1 minute we will switch from on to off and vice versa. So we will have a long period of transition where, you like it or not, the hydrocarbons will play a fundamental role for in our societies.
What do you think, Laura? Do you want to add something to what Nicola said to us?
No, I agree with Nicola. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a challenge to be able to transit from where we are at the moment to a more sustainable form of energies, and it's not going to happen from today to tomorrow. And this is why all the geoscientists in the energy environment have a responsibility to help society to go through this transition. And yes, it is very much something that we have to do now. It's not going to be years in the future. Oil and gas, we can't switch off from oil and gas now, but we will need to support society through this transition while we will be able to mature a more sustainable form of energy.
Okay, thank you, Laura. Before maybe there is even Michele from OGS Trieste that has a comment, but before to leave him the word and the floor, I have a question for you, Laura. You have worked for in many locations, in many different locations in your life, okay? USA, UK, and etc., Europe, and so on. How is the different perception of the energy transition, maybe in different continents, you know? Because maybe Europe could be different, the feelings of citizens than USA. And did you find differences between them?
It is a good question, but it is hard for me to answer it, because if I think about it, I was in US before 2011. So, and at that point, we weren't talking about energy transition. It is something that it has come up recently, possibly too recently. Maybe it should have come up earlier than this. But I mean, in UK now is in the front page of all papers. If you think about it, we just had COP26 in Europe as well. It hits the front line every time. I hope it will. It is a discussion that will stay there and will take action.
Okay, thank you, Laura. I have another comment. So, Laura, is geoscience still a good choice for a student? So, for example, if there will be in front of you a young that is attending high school in this moment, and she or he has to decide which kind of faculty attend at university. Geoscience remains a good opportunity for them.
It depends. It depends what we are looking for. I can say why I like geoscience, and that is because I like to understand why things happen. I love the discovery process that is very embedded in our job. If they are interested in this, of course, that is the right path for them. And also, I think there is a social responsibility now with geoscience. It goes back to powering the world. If you think providing affordable form of energy is one of the key goals, one of the 17 development goals, and through geoscience you can help with that. You can help society. You can improve livelihood of communities.
Very much. I kindly appreciate your participation to this interview, and thanks to all that could attend, could have the chance to attend to this interview. And it was a great pleasure to have you here, and I hope to hear and see you soon, of course, live. So thank you very much, and see you next time.
Thank you very much. Thanks to all of you. It was a pleasure.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Grazie a tutti.